Have you ever pondered why some nations swim in prosperity while others drown in poverty? Picture this: a small village in a developing country, where the air is thick with desperation but also a resilient spirit that refuses to be quenched. In this village, a woman named Amina tirelessly weaves beautiful baskets, a skill passed down through generations. Yet, despite her intricate creations, Amina and her family barely scrape by. Now, let's journey together through the pages of Good Economics for Hard Times, a beacon of knowledge penned by the 2019 Nobel Laureates in Economics, and explore the unseen threads that weave through Amina's life and countless others across the globe. Act 1. The Unseen Threads of Poverty and Prosperity. In the intricate tapestry of our global society, there exist threads, often unseen, that bind the fates of the prosperous and the impoverished. The authors, through a meticulously crafted narrative in Good Economics for Hard Times, invite us on a journey to explore these threads, weaving through the lives of individuals like Amina, a skilled basket weaver in a small, resource-deprived village. Amina, with fingers deft and eyes narrowed in concentration, weaves not just materials, but hopes, dreams, and the unyielding spirit of generations into her baskets. Yet, the economic threads that should connect her craftsmanship to a fair livelihood are frayed and weak. The authors, Abhijit V. Banerjee and Esther Duflo, through a lens that melds empathy with rigorous research, unravel the complexities of these threads, presenting economics not as a distant, academic domain, but as a tangible, pulsating entity that directly impacts lives like Amina's. The authors argue fervently against the relegation of economics to merely economists, advocating instead for a democratization of this crucial knowledge. They posit that understanding and applying good economics, a practice deeply rooted in real-world data, compassionate policymaking, and an unwavering commitment to alleviating hardship, can serve as a vital lifeline to those ensnared in the cruel grasp of poverty. In the context of Amina's village, this isn't merely about distributing resources, such as mosquito nets, which are crucial in malaria-prone regions. It's about ensuring that these nets are distributed effectively and equitably, that they reach the hands that need them most, and that their impact is maximized through complementary initiatives, such as education on their proper use. It's about recognizing that each net not only offers protection from disease but also symbolizes an opportunity. A morning free from malaria, a day that can be seized, a future that can be molded with healthier, stronger hands. Banerjee and Duflo delve deeper, exploring the multifaceted nature of poverty alleviation, which extends far beyond mere resource distribution. They explore how policies, when crafted and implemented with a keen understanding of ground realities and a genuine respect for beneficiaries, can create ripples of opportunity that extend through communities, regions, and generations. For instance, consider an initiative that supports Amina's craftsmanship, providing not just financial aid, but also platforms to showcase her work, access to wider markets, and the development of skills that enable her to navigate the digital world. This isn't merely charity. It's an investment in her economic empowerment, in elevating her craftsmanship to a sustainable livelihood, and in weaving stronger, more resilient threads into the economic tapestry. The authors underscore that these policies and initiatives should not be born from a place of detached benevolence or mere statistical analysis. Instead, they should emerge from a profound understanding of the lived experiences of individuals like Amina, acknowledging their aspirations, respecting their struggles, and amplifying their agency. In this act, Banerjee and Duflo artfully weave a narrative that is both a poignant exploration and a compelling argument, illuminating the unseen threads that bind us all in a shared economic destiny. They challenge us to perceive these threads, to understand their strength and their fragility, and to recognize that in the mindful crafting of economic policies and practices, we have the power to weave a tapestry that is not just rich in prosperity but also robust in its inclusivity and humanity. Act 2. The Mirage of Immigration Waves. In the vast expanse of our globalized world, the phenomenon of immigration emerges as a mirage, oscillating between reality and misconception, often distorting our perceptions and fueling divisive debates. Good Economics for Hard Times navigates through this mirage, unraveling the threads of immigration, and inviting us to explore its multifaceted implications through a lens that merges empathetic storytelling with empirical research. Imagine the journey of Karim, a skilled carpenter, who, despite the turmoil and instability engulfing his homeland, chooses to remain amidst the familiar, rather than venturing into the unknown terrains of foreign lands. Contrary to the often peddled narrative of overwhelming waves of immigration, the authors, Banerjee and Duflo, present a different story. one where the proportion of international migrants has remained relatively stable over decades, hovering around the same as it was in the 1960s and 1990s. The authors dismantle the monolithic perception of immigrants, revealing a spectrum that ranges from individuals like Kareem, who opt for the comfort and familiarity of home despite adversities, to those who embark on perilous journeys in search of safer shores and brighter futures. They delve into the reasons that anchor people like Kareem, such as the warmth of community, the comfort of familiarity, and an intrinsic fear of the unknown, which often outweighs the potential benefits of migration. However, the narrative does not merely linger on the choices of potential immigrants. It expands, exploring the impact of those who do choose to migrate, debunking myths and unearthing realities that are often buried beneath layers of political rhetoric and media sensationalism. For instance, the authors dismantle the myth of immigrants as a threat to local employment and wages, illustrating through data and stories how immigrants often complement local workforces, contribute to economic activities, and even foster innovation and entrepreneurship. Consider the United States, where, as highlighted by the authors, numerous companies, especially within the Fortune 500, were founded or co-founded by immigrants or their descendants. These entities do not merely generate profits. They create employment, spur innovation, and contribute to the economic vitality of the nation. The stories of renowned entrepreneurs like Sergey Brin, Steve Jobs, and Jeff Bezos intertwine with the narrative, providing tangible examples of how immigrants and their descendants have woven integral threads into the economic and social fabric of societies. Yet, the authors do not shy away from the complexities and challenges that accompany immigration. They navigate through the nuanced landscapes, exploring how skilled immigrants, while contributing to the economy, might also inadvertently impact local incomes and social dynamics. However, they argue that these challenges are not insurmountable and that through mindful policies, which consider both the aspirations of immigrants and the concerns of local populations, harmonious and mutually beneficial environments can be cultivated. Banerjee and Duflo, through a blend of rigorous research and compelling narratives, illuminate the myriad dimensions of immigration, from the personal to the societal, and from the economic to the emotional. They invite us to peer beyond the mirage, to see the human stories intertwined with the data, and to recognize that beneath the surface of immigration statistics lie dreams, struggles, innovations, and a shared aspiration for prosperity and stability. In this act, the authors beckon us to transcend divisive narratives and to envision a world where the threads of empathy, understanding, and shared humanity guide our perceptions and policies regarding immigration. They challenge us to see the faces, hear the stories, and understand the aspirations that pulse beneath the numbers, and to recognize that in the thoughtful weaving of policies and practices, we can navigate through the mirage and towards a reality that uplifts us all. Act 3. The Sticky Economy and the Winds of Trade. In the intricate ballet of global economics, the dance between stagnation and trade becomes a pivotal performance, one that shapes the destinies of nations and individuals alike. Act 3 of Good Economics for Hard Times invites us to a front-row seat, offering a panoramic view of the delicate balance between the sticky traps of economic stagnation and the sometimes tumultuous winds of trade. Picture a bustling market in a small town, where merchants eagerly display their wares, from vibrant textiles to fragrant spices. Yet, despite the apparent vibrancy, an invisible stickiness underlies the economic activities, hindering mobility and entrenching disparities. The authors, Banerjee and Duflo, introduce us to the concept of a sticky economy, where resources, both material and monetary, do not flow freely, creating traps that mire individuals and communities in persistent poverty. In the realm of this sticky economy, people like Leela, a talented textile merchant, find themselves bound by invisible threads that limit their economic mobility. Lila's textiles, rich in color and crafted with generations of skill, struggle to find markets beyond her immediate vicinity, stifling her economic potential and perpetuating a cycle of localized stagnation. The authors explore how this stickiness not only stifles individual aspirations but also perpetuates systemic poverty, as resources and opportunities become concentrated, rather than flowing where they are most needed. Contrastingly, the authors then guide us through the expansive seas of international trade, where the winds carry goods, services, and opportunities across borders. They explore the theory of comparative advantage, which posits that nations, by specializing in industries where they hold inherent advantages, and trading with others, can collectively enhance prosperity. However, the authors also navigate through the turbulent storms that can accompany these winds of trade, acknowledging that while nations may prosper, individual workers and industries can face daunting challenges and disruptions. Through the lens of trade, we meet Ravi, a factory worker whose livelihood becomes endangered as his nation, pursuing its comparative advantage, shifts towards a different industrial focus. Ravi's story, echoed across countless others, illustrates the often overlooked human cost of trade, revealing how the benefits of enhanced national income can mask the struggles and disparities experienced by individuals and communities. Banerjee and Duflo, with a blend of empathetic storytelling and empirical rigor, explore the delicate balance between the stickiness of economic stagnation and the multifaceted impacts of trade. They argue that neither can be viewed through a singularly positive or negative lens, and that policies and practices must be crafted with a nuanced understanding of their complex, intertwined impacts. The authors advocate for policies that not only enhance the flow of resources within sticky economies, liberating individuals like Leela from the invisible threads that bind them, but also ensure that the winds of trade do not sweep away the livelihoods of individuals like Ravi. They argue for a compassionate, nuanced, and empirically grounded approach to navigating through the sticky traps and turbulent winds that characterize our global economic landscape. In this act, the authors invite us to reflect, to recognize the faces and stories that lie beneath the surface of economic theories and policies, and to envision a path forward that sails adeptly through the stickiness and the winds, crafting a future that uplifts and empowers us all. Act 4. The heat of global warming and the chill of inequality. In the unfolding narrative of Good Economics for Hard Times, Act 4 propels us into the scorching realities of global warming, juxtaposed against the chilling disparities of inequality, weaving a tale where the threads of environmental decay and social injustice intertwine in a complex tapestry of challenges and opportunities. Imagine the serene landscapes of a small island nation, where the gentle caress of the ocean breeze whispers tales of ancient traditions and resilient communities. Yet, beneath this tranquility lies a tempest of impending calamity as the rising tides, fueled by global warming, threaten to engulf the land and erase centuries of cultural heritage. Here, we meet Sela, a fisherwoman, whose daily battle isn't just against the capriciousness of the ocean but also against the looming shadow of a future where her home, her livelihood, and her very identity are submerged beneath the waves. Authors Banerjee and Duflo navigate through the complexities of this global crisis, exploring how the heat of global warming, emanating from the excesses of affluent nations, casts a chilling shadow of existential threat over vulnerable communities like Sela's. They delve into the debates that permeate international forums, where the allocation of carbon emissions becomes a battlefield, pitting the economic aspirations of developing nations against the urgent imperative of environmental conservation. The narrative then transports us to the bustling streets of a sprawling metropolis, where the invisible chill of inequality permeates through the skyscrapers and luxury vehicles, nestling into the cramped quarters of the urban poor. Here, we encounter Raj, a street vendor, whose dreams of prosperity are perpetually stifled by the systemic barriers that entrench inequality and limit his access to opportunities. Through the stories of Sela and Raj, the authors illuminate the interconnectedness of global warming and inequality, revealing how the environmental actions of affluent individuals and nations reverberate through the global ecosystem, disproportionately impacting the most vulnerable among us. They explore how the chill of inequality, both within and between nations, exacerbates the impacts of global warming, limiting the ability of individuals and communities to adapt and survive amidst the changing climate. Banerjee and Duflo, with a meticulous blend of data and human stories, unravel the complex web of causality and responsibility that links the affluent with the impoverished and the emitters with the impacted. They argue that addressing the heat of global warming necessitates confronting the chill of inequality, crafting policies and practices that not only mitigate environmental impacts but also dismantle systemic barriers, enabling equitable adaptation and resilience. The authors advocate for a holistic, empathetic, and justice-oriented approach to navigating through the heat and the chill, recognizing that the threads of environmental sustainability and social justice are inextricably intertwined. They call for policies that not only reduce emissions and enhance adaptive capacities but also empower the marginalized, ensuring that the transition towards sustainability does not perpetuate existing disparities but rather fosters a future that is both environmentally and socially just. In this act, the authors invite us to witness the heat and feel the chill, to understand their complexities, their interconnectedness, and their profound impacts on individuals and communities. They beckon us to envision a future where the mitigation of global warming and the dismantling of inequality are pursued not as separate paths but as intertwined journeys towards a future that is sustainable, equitable, and just for all. Act 5. The Symphony of Artificial Intelligence and the Echo of Job Losses. In the crescendo of technological advancement, the Symphony of Artificial Intelligence, AI, plays a melody that is both enchanting and disconcerting. Act 5 of Good Economics for Hard Times invites us to listen closely, to hear not only the harmonious potential of AI but also the dissonant echoes of job losses and social disruption that reverberate in its wake. Picture a bustling city, where amidst the towering skyscrapers and sprawling complexes, a piano plays a hauntingly beautiful melody. Yet, the bench before it remains empty, the keys moved by invisible, algorithmic fingers. This autonomous piano, while a marvel of technological innovation, also plays the somber song of a musician displaced, of skills rendered obsolete, and of a future that is increasingly uncertain. Authors Banerjee and Duflo, with a conductor's precision, guide us through this symphony of AI, exploring the myriad ways in which it is reshaping our economic and social landscapes. They delve into the stories of individuals like Maria, a seasoned musician, whose livelihood is eclipsed by the rise of autonomous instruments. Maria's story, while unique in its details, echoes the experiences of countless others, who find themselves adrift in the turbulent seas of technological disruption. The authors navigate through the complexities of this disruption, exploring how AI, while enhancing efficiencies and spawning innovations, also generates waves of job losses and fosters inequalities. They delve into historical parallels, drawing comparisons with the Luddites during the Industrial Revolution, revealing how the echoes of technological disruption and social discord reverberate through time. Yet, Banerjee and Duflo also illuminate the potential harmonies within this symphony of AI. They explore how, through mindful policies and intentional practices, the benefits of AI can be harnessed without amplifying social dissonance. They argue for approaches that not only mitigate the impacts of job losses but also leverage the potentials of AI to enhance social and economic well-being. Consider the concept of universal basic income, UBI, which the authors explore as a potential mechanism to redistribute the economic gains of AI, ensuring that the melody of technological advancement does not drown out the harmonies of social cohesion and individual well-being. They delve into debates and data, exploring the potentials and pitfalls of Ubi, and examining how it might be orchestrated to ensure that individuals like Maria are not left adrift but are rather empowered to navigate through the changing tides. Through a blend of empirical research and empathetic storytelling, the authors craft a narrative that is both a cautionary tale and a hopeful melody, revealing how the symphony of AI can be composed in a manner that enhances, rather than diminishes, our collective well-being. They advocate for a future where the echoes of job losses do not drown out the harmonies of innovation and progress, but rather, through intentional policies and practices, contribute to a symphony that is rich in both technological marvel and social harmony. In this act, Banerjee and Duflo invite us to listen closely, to hear both the melodies and the echoes, and to recognize that the symphony of AI can be composed in a manner that enhances our collective well-being, ensuring that the music of progress plays in harmony with the well-being of all. Epilogue. Weaving a tapestry of dignity and prosperity. In the tapestry of global economics, every thread from Amina's baskets to automated pianos is interwoven. The authors conclude that while automation and artificial intelligence are inevitable, policies and funding that ensure the preservation of dignity and equitable growth are imperative. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time. If this journey through the economic landscapes resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share, weaving this knowledge into the broader tapestry of our collective understanding.